Which is kind of dressing for us. Good morning, everyone, and the Tuesday, July 12th, 2022 meeting will now come to order. Sorry, I just got off a late flight last night. I apologize. So with that, Melissa, will you please call the roll?
Okay, Director Balin,
Here.
Director Boatright,
Here.
Director Kearns,
Here.
Director Murphy,
Here.
Director Ringen.
Here.
Okay, all 5 directors are present.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, Director Ringen, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up the public forum, and we would like to welcome the members of the public who have taken the time to attend this meeting and provide comments on matters related to district business. Any member of the public may address the board relating to any matter within the board's jurisdiction. This need not be related to any item on the agenda. However, the board cannot act on an item unless it was noticed on the agenda. Persons speaking during the public comment will be limited to 5 minutes, or depending on the number of persons wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. And at this time, is there anyone in our live audience that would like to speak? Public comments? Okay, we'll close that. And Corey, anyone out in the virtual audience?
Not at the moment, no.
Great. Okay, thank you. So that'll conclude our public forum, and we'll move to the consent calendar. Melissa, will you please read the items?
Okay, item number 1, minutes of the regular board meeting of June 28th, 2022. Item number 2, approval of reimbursement claims for director statement of meetings attended and or travel expenses and claim summary for June 2022. Item number 3, reject claim for damages, claim number 22-10, Diana Newington, claimant.
Thank you. Is there any director that would like to pull one of these items, one or more of these items? Okay, nope, seeing no hands. All right, any member of the public wish to comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Corey, any virtual members?
Not at the moment.
Great, okay. Then, without further discussion, is there a motion to approve the claim summary? Or, yeah, the consent calendar, I mean.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, is there a second?
I would second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Melissa, will you please call for the vote?
Okay, Director Balin,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Director Kearns,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Ringen.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you for the claim summary, for the explanation. That clarifies it, that it's moving on, that when we deny. So that part's good. Okay, thank you on that. Okay, regular business. We'll just presentation by the Fire Safety Council.
Well, President Balin, I have some bad news. There was a mix-up on the title. Title Fire Safety Council is actually to care, and so for that reason, we're going to scratch this item for this agenda.
Okay.
Push it to the next agenda.
So we'll bring it back at a later date, and we'll probably have staff report on it or something. And okay, great. Okay, so that item has been removed. Thank you. Okay, Melissa, please read item number 5.
Okay, consider executing a construction contract with Moyle Excavation for the Ridgewood Pipeline Project.
Well, good morning, board. I'm sharing screen here. It's not optimized, but hopefully you can kind of see it, and I'll go through this item and happy to answer any questions. If it had taken a little longer to get through consent, we might have had Jennifer here. This is really Jennifer Batt's item. But I think as the board knows, I've said before, she has a construction meeting down at the wastewater plant every Tuesday morning. Happens to coincide with your board meeting dates and times. So I'm presenting for Jennifer. Essentially what we have here, you may recall the last board meeting, the board authorized award of a contract for paving. And that paving related to patching the trench and doing some overlay work on pipeline that our crews recently completed installation from Meadowbrook Drive, if you can see my pointer here, all the way up to Resort Road. And that is one segment of multiple segments, multiple phases of a pipeline project with the goal, ultimate goal, is to bring water from the upper basin area of our system down through Ridgewood, down through Phoenix Lake Road, to eliminate, I don't want to say eliminate, but abandon, dismantle treatment and storage facilities that are aging and in very poor condition. One being right here, serving the Phoenix Lake Park area. There's about 55 connections in that water system. And then in the other being the Scenic View water treatment plant. And there are tanks associated with both of these sites. There's also multiple pump stations that would be consolidated. You hear the term consolidation all the time. So that's what we're really trying to accomplish here. This contract would be for pipeline installation by a contractor, obviously, not by our crews. From this point here near Resort Road, and I apologize, let me see if I can zoom in. It's maybe a little better, not a lot, but from Resort Road up Phoenix Lake Road, and then all the way over and turning up Ridgewood Drive. The reason we call it the Ridgewood Pipeline is because essentially it's connecting Ridgewood down through our system. We opened bids, received 5 bids, fairly tight bid spread on this. It is nearly 7,000 feet of pipe. In the olden days, when I say old, 4 or 5 years ago, we would use a rough number of like $1 million a mile for 8-inch water main, which is kind of the standard size in a road. And this came in roughly about 1.1 million per mile, so that's a 10% premium on that, which is great when you consider our climate and with cost escalation. If you averaged all the 5 bids, we were at more like 1.2 million a mile, which is 20% more than what we've usually used. This was less than the engineer's estimate. We think it's a good bid. We've used Moyle Excavation. They are a local contractor on many other jobs. They do good work. It does include, in this case, all the pavement restoration, so we won't be coming back to the board with that. And it is reflected in your CIP budget just adopted recently. And we had 1.6 million contained in 2 items in that CIP budget, and this came in at 1.4. There is additional work to be done farther up the system in Ridgewood. We hope to utilize our own crews to do that work possibly later this year. When I say later this year, later this fiscal year, or possibly next fiscal year. It is part of a larger overall project, which again, apologize that its scale is not great, that is part of the Sierra Pines consolidation effort. Sierra Pines would eventually deliver water all the way down to Scenic View and Phoenix Lake Park. It would also consolidate Cedar Ridge, consolidate Ponderosa Hills. And so we are building kind of the tentacles, the arteries, if you will, so that when this treatment plant goes online, we'll already have the pipelines in place to deliver water. Although we won't have Sierra Pines possibly for several years, this pipeline has immediate value to us in the sense that our upper basin system can supply the demand right now, but we probably won't be able to start adding Ponderosa Hills and everything until we get Sierra Pines. So the pipeline will have immediate value. I don't know really what else to add at this point. It is been cleared with CEQA because it was covered in the CEQA analysis for Sierra Pines. And at this point, we're asking the board to consider award to oil excavation in the amount of 1.42 million and change with 5% contingency authorization, which is about $70,000 for any unknown unforeseen circumstances that may arise during construction. Yes, as part of the cruise, yeah.
And any questions for, yes, go ahead, Director Rainey.
So the pipeline will be put into service just about as soon as they get completed?
Yes, it will. So the upper portion, we do need to do that work, but the pipeline itself will still have water in it and we'll still be able to serve customers. But the ultimate goal is to do the upper part of Ridgewood so that then we can serve water to the Summit tank and we can abandon some of the pumping facilities we have in there. So we won't achieve full consolidation until the other phase is done. But yes, the pipeline will be put into service.
And my other questions is, I toured, visited that pathetic treatment plant down there at Phoenix Lake. So I'm glad to see that be going away. When will that be taken out of service?
Do you want to address that one?
Yesterday,
Yesterday, okay.
it's offline.
Oh, it's offline
It's
now?
offline. It's offline. That area is now being served by Upper Basin Water. To date, no complaints. I've heard some positive things from a few people about the water quality. Yeah, we'll leave the plant and ready to serve for a while. You know, we need to live this way for a few years and make sure we don't want to take it offline and abandon it before we know for sure.
Yeah.
We're good. So, yeah.
Will that be a piece of property that will be sold possibly in the future?
It's a postage stamp. It's not very big.
Oh, okay. And then the Scenic View treatment plant, is that the one right off of Phoenix Lake Road?
In Meadowbrook?
Yeah. In Meadowbrook, okay, so that one also looked pretty pathetic, so good to see that go away. All right, that's it for me, thanks.
Thank you. Anyone? Yes.
Will the water from Ridgewood then gravity down to the Summit tank?
The water from Ridgewood, when we're complete with both of these phases, will gravity all the way to the Summit tank. There's also a pump station that serves a small hydro area right on the high end of that ridge. We'll also have pressure to eliminate that pump station as well.
So it won't, with this project, it won't quite be there, or
So it will connect Upper Basin. The problem is currently it's a little bit convoluted explanation, but currently we pump up to the Ridgewood tank and then everything would flow out of that. Well, that's a small pipeline size and it's not ideal to pump all the flow through a pump station through that tank. So we're going to construct a bypass so that most of the flow, 90%, using a round number, will just go right by that tank, straight down Ridgewood, and all the way into this lower zone to serve the Summit tank. But we can't deliver that full volume without pumping up to the Ridgewood tank until that bypass is done.
how soon could construction start?
On this project, I should have mentioned that. We actually don't anticipate the contractor to start construction probably until spring next year. Unfortunately, because we're in July and with the procurement lead times on pipe, by the time you received all the pipe, we'd probably be in November. And to do this work in the winter on a busy road is not ideal. Probably.
But this is like the bid price in.
Correct.
All right, that's all I have.
Thank you, Director Albright. Director Murphy and then Director Kearns.
put the new slide on there, the one that has the project that we just approved, I think in the last meeting as well? That one, yeah, great. Hey, can you just explain a little bit about, so it was the Phoenix Lake Road part that we just did, that was just a paving project that we approved the last meeting and the meeting before that? Is that correct?
That is correct.
And that was being repaved because of a section of pipeline that had been put in?
That's correct. This segment here, from this point down to our scenic view water treatment plant.
Okay, and this is an extension of that same pipeline?
Correct. This this contract you're considering is the red line.
Correct. And so, and what are the other stages of this project? Like how much larger?
Sure, the other stages are up above, just right off this map, is a couple thousand feet of water main on Upper Ridgewood. And then our crews, we have in the CIP for a later year, this segment right here. This is just more of a maintenance need to replace old pipelines. So I don't really consider it critical to the project, but this red line, Upper Ridgewood, and then eventually our crews would like to replace this line, which goes up to, and you can see the tank right there, the Sonic tank. Right, that's our goal. Once we can get Ridgewood water at pressure into this tank, then we will have achieved the full consolidation. Now, what Don was referring to is we've already consolidated this through the new pipeline that our crews installed from Scenic View Water Treatment Plant. So now Scenic View is serving Phoenix Lake Park. But in the end, if we want to get rid of Scenic View, we have to do these additional pipeline segments to bring water from a higher elevation in Upper Basin down to the lower zone.
Very good, thank you.
Director Cook.
So Eric, did I hear you say we have 1.6 million CPI to cover this?
Yes, and that was intended to include Upper Ridgewood as well. And so we discussed the fact that Upper Ridgewood might be more than, with 1.6, you're awarding, if you do, at 1.4, 200,000 isn't going to get us there. So we're looking at possibly bridging that with next fiscal year, having our own crews build it. I will say that this is all eligible under the Sierra Pines grant. The problem is that we don't know when that grant will be offered. We have assurances that we will get money. Part of this is we know we'll get money from the consolidation of Curtis Creek Elementary School. So, but we can't bank on that in this fiscal year. So we anticipate there being a bit of a crunch at the end of the year in order to do Upper Ridgewood, and that's why I can see TUD's crews bleeding over into the next fiscal year. But you'd have to consider that in your next budget next year.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Is there any further discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none. Any member of the public wish to comment on this project? Okay, Corey, any member of the audience, virtual audience?
Not one.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, thank you, Eric, for the presentation. So with that, is there any further discussion? And if there's none, would somebody consider making a motion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that, where is that thing? Make a motion for executing a construction project contract and oil excavation for the Ridgewood Pipeline project.
For the general manager to execute?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Director Kern seconded it. Is there any further discussion? Okay. Melissa, will you please call for the vote?
Okay, Director Rehman,
Yes.
Director Kearns,
Yes.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Director Balin.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Thanks again, Aaron.
Thank you.
Great, okay, we're down to staff reports.
Well, last week I attended the Natural Resources Committee in town. It was a short meeting, a lot of items. The Forest Service reported out, somebody from the Forest Service reported out the Searle project. I'm not sure who that fellow was, but he seemed pretty knowledgeable. And we reported out on TUD operations. There's a little bit of discussion on, the county's a little interested and concerned, not concerned, but I say interested in the public comment period for 1061 licensing. Other than that, that's all I did.
This is the Natural Resources Committee.
Yeah.
Okay, and which supervisors are on that?
Kathleen Half and Kurt Hager.
Okay, thank you, good, thanks. And then there was a FERC item on that, is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about there. So they were curious about the comment period,
Oh, I got you.
whether or not they were to comment. I brought Glenn along for a few questions to be answered. So.
Thank you. Okay. All right, any staff?
I'll be brief. As I mentioned at the last meeting, it's end of year, so we're all busy right now, getting everything closed and wrapped up and ready for the auditors. They'll be here at the end of next month. The next meeting, we're planning on a tentative financial report to the board as far as an update on that. I don't want to steal Abby's thunder here, but with Emily moving to her new position, we also have promoted April Franklin as our customer service supervisor. She's been our senior customer service representative for a few years now, and April will do a great job. We're going to miss Emily very much, but we're lucky to have her. She'll do great in her new role, but April's going to do a great job for us, and we'll get her up and running. That's all I have.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, segue. Thank you, Steve. President Balin, members of the board, I am super excited today to introduce you to Emily Long, who is a couple seats over to my left and who is also kind of sitting in and watching Melissa do her thing as the backup to Melissa. Emily has been promoted to administrative and external affairs specialist. So she will be filling many of the roles that Lisa Westbrook did before she retired, but and a lot more. So really excited. She'll be handling complex and professional administrative activities, including legislative, both state, federal affairs, as well as grants, pursuit of grants, development, writing of grants, and community outreach and public education. As Steve said, she was our customer service supervisor, so she knows our customers. She's been working with them for 10 years. She knows what they want to know about our projects, what they can have issues with, what they like, what they don't like. So really excited for that. She's hit the ground running. She's still in the transition mode, so we're happy we can do that with Steve and getting April up to speed. But I think you guys will really appreciate. She's a great writer. And overall high performer for the district, so she's going to do a really great job. So just happy to introduce Emily, and just let us know what we can do to help you guys be more successful in all of our roles here. So
Thank you.
welcome.
Great,
Thank you.
yes, Eric.
If I can, real quick, because we have kind of shorter meeting. So.
Yeah.
On staff reports, the next agenda, you may see on there a public hearing on a notice of intent to apply for USDA funding for Cedar Pines. So again, along with this consolidation theme, the next step for the district is to really try to get some funding for that treatment plant. We've made tremendous strides recently with our permit applications through the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Regional Water Board. And we've received letters of support from elected officials Bigelow, Clintock, Padilla, and as well, we're going to be requesting a letter of support from IRWM. We also have a few others there and have been in regular contact with the state and USDA on that. So anyway, fingers crossed that we'll see some funding for that project. Also, if you've driven down Standard Road anytime soon, I think some of the board was asking about that project. The contractors installed all of the water main to Curtis Creek Elementary School and has dropped back and is doing some of the T's and the service laterals and those types of things. And we're still on track to have water into the school in time for school to open and the county to do their paving shortly after we finish up. So things are going well on that project. And then lastly, I just wanted the board to know the state issued what they call a safe drinking water plan for California. And I don't know how frequently this document comes out, but it talks a lot about consolidation and as a path forward for a lot of small water agencies up and down the state. And they asked the district a few years ago to provide a narrative, and we provided one to represent kind of a success story in the state for consolidation and how our agency has done several consolidations over the years. And it took quite some time for them to publish this document, but it is out on the website, and TUD along with PCWA and a few other agencies are highlighted in here. It's a 300 some odd page document. We're like the last 5 pages of the document, but hey, you know, we're hopeful that that will be a marketing tool for us when we go out and ask for funding.
Save the best for last.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'll open it up to directors' reports. Who would like to go first? Yes, Director Reagan.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Emily. That's awesome that you got that position. You're going to do a great job. And then, Mr. GM, you really played down what you and Glenn Nunley did at that Natural Resource Committee meeting. They were peppered with questions, and you guys had all the answers, so good for you. On 6/29, attended the Mountain Counties Water Resource Association Legislative Committee meeting, and what we were doing is wordsmithing responses to the California State Legislature bills that are going to be brought before the board for final approval and all that, and then they'll go out. And on 7/6, I did attend and participate at the Tuolumne County Natural Resource Committee. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Director Reagan. Who would like to go next? We staff reports.
Congratulations to Emily. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the LAFCO meeting yesterday. Had a situation come up right before, and
Okay, understandable. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Director Kirk.
Yeah, congratulations, Emily. Looking forward to having you here, and I think you're going to do a great job. That's it.
Okay, Director Murphy.
I would like to offer my congratulations to you also, Emily, and looking forward to everything that you're going to be doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see. The only thing I have to report is that I'm starting a draft on the grand jury report, and I just want to thank staff for getting their responses to me. So I'll be working on that and for review, and of course for Jesse to review. So that's my homework. That's all I have to report. Well, if that's it.
Director Murphy does have any.
Okay, Director Murphy.
I did have one question. Are we no longer putting the videos of the meeting up on accessible through the TUD site?
They're on YouTube.
I think they're there. They should be there.
Okay, when I look at the last meeting, the video, it doesn't show up on the list, nor do the last couple. So maybe just double check on that.
It's not on Granicus, it's on YouTube.
All right, but there should be some sort of link from that page on the website. When you go to TUD and you go to the agendas where there should still be a link there to where we're having it.
There is,
Okay,
okay.
great, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that reminds me, Emily, do you have webmeister skills?
Meister.
Yes, and I'm learning more as I
Okay.
go, so yes.
Great, good, okay, we have high expectations. All righty,
We've got a list of improvements to make on the website.
good, great, wonderful.
I can see she feels pressure.
Okay, so with that, we've done our director's communications reports. If there's no further business, then I will adjourn today's meeting at 9:30.
Wow.